Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
Kindercare learning centers have become pro-homosexual doctrination mills. I'm Matt Barber, Director of Cultural Affairs with Liberty Counsel and Associate Dean with Liberty University School of Law, in for Matt Staver today. And joining me in studio is Sean Akers, Professor of Law with the Law School and Policy Analyst with Liberty Counsel. Well, Sean, you've seen them. They're all over the country. Kindercare learning centers. These are preschools, kindergartens, daycare centers where people can pay tuition and have their kids dropped off to learn. I'm sure over the years, Kindercare has done a lot of good in helping to educate young children and prepare them for school, for kindergarten and beyond. These are preschoolers we're talking about here today who are now being taught in Kindercare regularly, indoctrinated, reprogrammed to believe that homosexual relations, homosexual behavior, and so-called homosexual families, gay families, are perfectly good, perfectly normal, and the equivalent of natural families, God's design for the family. This is just very disconcerting. A concerned employee of Kindercare contacted Liberty Counsel, forwarded on a document indicating that a book called Families by Ann Morris, a favorite of the radical pro-homosexual pressure groups, radical homosexual lobby, that this book is now being used to teach kids, to reprogram kids as to what is not a family, essentially to teach them that homosexuality is good and normal. Liberty Counsel certainly doesn't have any way of stopping Kindercare from doing this. This is their prerogative as a private organization, but we certainly have every right and I believe an obligation to educate you, the public, as to what Kindercare is doing. And I would go so far as to recommend, if you have your children in Kindercare now, ask them about this, demand that they stop indoctrinating your children or pull them out of Kindercare.
You know, Kindercare is a private institution, Matt, and they've got freedom of speech. They can share their opinions. Now, the question, though, is this. You are a private person, too, and you have a right to determine who you're going to give your money to, who you're going to empower, who are you going to cause to profit, and what are you going to subject your children to. The fact is that Kindercare, we've all seen these. They're really cute little places. They look like a very safe place for your family to be, but if you don't want your children indoctrinated this way, you're going to have to take them out. There's no question about it. And the thing is, Matt, this is not just a book that they've included. Here are some of the instructions that they put along with this book. It's treated as a centerpiece of something for 3- and 4-year-olds.
And this is a mandatory curriculum.
Absolutely, yeah. This is something that we're saying, that Kindercare is saying, if you don't learn anything else, if you don't get your ABCs, well, I don't want to speak too far. I don't want to exaggerate there. But it is being placed on par that way.
And teachers, if you happen to disagree with this, if you happen to hold traditional family values, well, then you have no place here at Kindercare.
You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander on that. In private religious schools should have the same ability, and it should be you, the listeners here, those with that earn money every week and spend money to put your children in institutions, that should choose to spend your money with institutions that will lead your children down godly paths. You can choose to make profitable those ventures that will support the idea of Christianity in the United States and not take away from it by completely undoing the thought of marriage. Matt, here's what they say here. It says, this is directions to these teachers. You're on this mandatory thing. Read the story showing the photos on each page. Pause at each photo to allow the children to examine them carefully. Request that children hold their questions and comments until you have read the entire story. Don't confuse us with any questions like, that's not the way my parents said things should run. After you have read the story through once, go back and discuss the photos in greater detail. Encourage the children to talk about their own families, how they're similar and different from the families in the book. Place the book in the classroom library for children to look at during child-directed play. Indoctrinate, and systematically indoctrinate, Matt.
Well, Nazi propagandist Joseph Goebbels often said that children were the key to the future. He understood that in order to own the future, you own the minds of the young. Boy, they are starting younger and younger, the radical pro-homosexual lobby. This mandatory curriculum requires that 3-year-olds be forced through and taught, reprogrammed to believe that this pro-homosexual, that homosexual couples, 2 men, are so-called married or not even married, are equal to the equivalent of a natural family. The curriculum requires the book to be in the permanent collection for 3 and 4-year-olds to read, as you point out. And Sean, here it even has pictures of an obviously lesbian couple kissing. A photograph of a lesbian couple kissing while posing with their young children. Sean, this is appalling, but this is so indicative of where we are in our pop culture today. The homosexual lobby is making leaps and bounds and great advances in furthering their propagandist tactics. And unfortunately, many within the field of education come from that mindset and are happily and willingly promoting this type of radical social change within our culture, this secular humanist, morally relative social change. And Kindercare, Inc. is mandating that teachers reprogram these children.
The beauty of it, though, Matt,